Welcome back to Two Keto Dudes. This is Carl Franklin from Connecticut in the United States. And in February 2016, I put myself on a ketogenic diet to take control of my metabolism. In just 2.5 months, I managed to reverse all my markers of type 2 diabetes with diet alone. As of now, I'm 80 pounds lighter with no signs of diabetes or heart disease.
Hi, I'm Richard Morris in Canberra, Australia. I've been on a ketogenic diet since April of 2014, and when I started, I was very sick with complications from type 2 diabetes. And within 6 months of starting a ketogenic diet, all of my biomarkers of disease had disappeared. I've lost about 100 pounds, and I've completely turned my health around.
And this show is a document of our experiences thriving for years in nutritional ketosis.
Yeah, and reversing diabetes.
Right, and hopefully that might help a few people who are curious about this kind of dietary hacking.
Yeah, we're not doctors. We don't want to give any medical advice, but we are keen to share our own experiences. We're actually both software developers, so we're not afraid of a little technical detail, are we, Carl?
No way, Joe.
How about you, Brenda? You afraid of technical detail?
Not anymore.
We have done some research into our own deranged metabolisms and the science behind them, and we share studies that we found in the show notes.
You'll probably work out pretty quickly that we're both foodies.
Oh, yeah.
We love to cook and we love to eat.
Yep.
In every episode, we both share a keto recipe that's not bad.
Not bad.
Not bad. Not bad. So let's start podcast number 144, Giving Thanks with Brenda Zorn and Kevin Mountain. You say you're due for a little. Thanks. Well, that's our show. We'll see you next week.
So, Carl, do we have any apologies or corrections from last week's show?
Last week was Any Way You Can with Dr. Annette Bosworth. No, I thought that was a great show. Yeah, she did want me to mention one thing in the errata. She doesn't have a criminal record anymore.
Got expunged?
Yeah, all those so-called felonies have been expunged from her record. So,
oh, good. That's
we kind of honed in on that little story because it was dramatic, but, in reality, no, she's not a criminal.
She did a really good podcast with Daisy, with Keto Woman. So if you want to learn more about her keto practice, I suggest also listening to Daisy's story as well.
Yeah. So let's revisit what a ketogenic diet is. Ketogenic diet is one that puts you in a state of ketosis where you're burning fat for energy rather than glucose. And to get there, you need to be fat adapted. And the method that we use is 20 grams of carbs or less per day. You don't count calories. You don't look at how much goes in versus how much goes out. You just limit carbs to 20 grams or less a day. Protein is moderate, and we use the 1 to 1.5 grams a day per kilogram of lean body mass. And all our energy we get from fat. That was very nice. Foghorn effect. I like that.
Fat to satiety. That's why you don't have to count calories.
Right. So if you're just starting keto, listen to our Starting Keto show at start.2keto.com or just start listening from episode 1.
Or what, 143 episodes?
Yeah, don't worry.
Yeah.
So Richard, how was your week, man?
Well, I spent about 40 hours in a plane or an airport to get...
Why would you do that?
Well, I went from Canberra to Perth to London to Prague to Mallorca. Actually, no, I went to Munich and then Mallorca. But once I got there, it was lovely. We had a setup in an olive grove.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
So we were just working on some stuff for Two Keto Dudes. And now I'm currently in Prague again.
Yeah, with me, we're at a software developer conference of all things. It was really weird that Richard Campbell and Richard Morris and me all sat down at a table. Yeah. And it was kind of like, psych.
Yeah, it was like Ghostbusters crossing the streams, except you're crossing the Richards.
It was very strange.
It was weird.
Well, anyway, my week was about the same. I did a lot of traveling for this and came over early to Mallorca, beautiful, beautiful island off of the Spanish mainland, and we just had a wonderful time. Yeah, and getting some work done, and now we're just sort of hanging out. I'm going to be doing this conference, but I did the second most awesome Ketoki fried chicken keto mini fest at my house on Saturday. And the smiles on these people's faces, this is the best fried chicken I've ever had. ever, even when I used to eat the carby stuff.
Yeah.
It's just very satisfying.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's what I did. All right, well, let's give away some swag.
Sure. Every show we pick a lucky winner at random from the members of the 2 Keto Dudes fan club.
And today we're giving away a treasure trove of stuff from vendors we like, all of which you can find at fanclub.2keto.com.
We also need to mention a caveat. Most of our vendors can only ship inside the US.
Right, but if we happen to pick someone outside the US, we will find something to send you, but probably not all of it. So don't worry, you'll get something.
So who's our winner this week?
Today's winner is Jeff Abel.
Congratulations, Jeff. Let's tell everybody what Jeff has won.
Well, the first thing Jeff has won is a 2 Keto Dudes coffee mug with our big mugs on it that says, keep calm and keto on.
Also a signed copy of Lies My Doctor Told Me by Dr. Ken Berry online at lies.2keto.com.
Hey, that's my doctor.
He is, too.
Also, a bottle of Stevia Sweet barbecue sauce developed by a barbecue restaurant owner who plans to change the restaurant industry forever. Only 2 carbs per serving. Online at steviasweetbbq.com.
And a cheese-making kit from Wine and Whey. Pam Zorn gave everybody at Keto Fest a kit so they can make their own fresh mozzarella. That's available online at wineandwhey.com. That's wineandwhey.com.
And a 6-ounce cup of beef bone broth concentrate by Birthright Nutrition. Just add water, heat, stir, sip, and enjoy. Jam-packed with good stuff. More at birthrightnutrition.com.
We're also giving away a bottle of Remag Magnesium Solution developed by Dr. Carolyn Dean, along with a copy of her protocol and the Keto and Magnesium Manifesto online at magmiracle.com.
We're also giving away a big bottle of fasting drops from Keto Chow. It's a well-formulated blend of electrolytes. Just drop a little in your water and fasting will be a breeze. Online at fastingdrops.2keto.com.
And 2 bottles of Sated, 1 chocolate, 1 vanilla, online at sated.2keto.com.
And from Keto & Co., a sampler 6-pack, a bag of brownies, 4 bags of different flavored cauliflower rices, and a bag of flatbread. Online at ketoand.co.
And finally, a bag of everything bagels from Foxhill Kitchens, made with yeast but no wheat or gluten. Online at bread.2keto.com.
And if you don't want to wait to win some swag, you can buy all sorts of it online at gear.2keto.com. And might I add that Julie from Foxhill Kitchens came to the Kentucky Fried Chicken Keto Mini Fest, and she brought with her a tub of homemade chicken liver pate that was 50% butter.
Dear.
Oh, my God. I know you hate liver, Richard.
I'm a liver dodger from way back, yep.
Brenda's like salivating right now.
yeah.
I can see her.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, anyway, so she brought this big tub and it spread just like peanut butter. And she put this on, the color is kind of, it's gray.
Yeah.
But
it's liver color.
Yeah, it's liver color. But she spread it on little chunks of her bagel holes, the rounds that were sort of cut with a little cornichon right on top. And it was just absolutely awesome. The best appetizer I've ever served.
Nice.
Anyway, I guess we should read some, what do we call it?
Mail.
All right, so this one is from the great big giant keto success before and after thread on our forum, which you can get to at success.2keto.com. This is great. Just, hundreds of success stories for you to peruse. This is from ZenGen. That's her handle. Hi, guys. I'm not having my 1-year anniversary yet because I started keto less than 3 months ago. But I'm still telling my story to inspire other people to try keto. It's hard to believe how just 3 months of being keto can help you improve your life this much. My addiction to sugar started at a very young age. When I was little, my parents divorced, so I comforted myself with sweets every day. I was eating more and more, but my family never told me to stop because they knew that food was my only joy. Sad, huh?
Yeah, common experience.
Yeah, I can relate. I got bigger and bigger every year, and kids in my school started to make fun of me. That hurt me a lot, but not as much as our school doctor, who told me directly that my weight isn't normal and that I'm fat. I was around 12 years old at the time. The same day when I came home, I decided to go on a diet. My mom supported me. I was getting smaller, but also more frustrated. I thought about food every minute of my day. I started counting calories like crazy till I was eating just 200 to 400 calories a day.
Wow.
Yeah. When I hit my goal weight, I started to overeat again, and I regained all of my lost weight. I was struggling with this eating and no eating pattern for almost 6 years. And because of that, I was depressed and had problems with pressure. Then I met my boyfriend and I got a little better, but still struggling from time to time. This year, my sister and her boyfriend introduced me to the keto lifestyle, and I decided to give it a try. The first few weeks were really bad.
Yeah.
I had keto flu, sugar cravings, and my energy levels were low, but I noticed I was mentally feeling better. And this is why I continued. You know, this is exactly what Karen Mangiacotti said she went through.
She did, yeah. Well, she gained weight for 6 weeks.
Yeah, she gained weight, but she stuck with it because she felt so good, especially her, her mind, her brain was sharp. Okay, so when I got over my first month, I started to prepare food from keto recipes, and I realized that keto isn't just eggs, bacon, oil, and cheese all the time.
That's right.
Yes!
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 We have a winner.
We have a winner! Every week, I baked some keto desserts and tried new recipes almost every day. So I started my new hobby, cooking and baking, which is making me happy. I also lost a lot of weight, but the process of losing wasn't the same as it was in other diets I'd tried before. This time, I feel great. I'm not counting calories. I don't stress about food. I'm never hungry. And after 2 months, I forgot that I started keto because I wanted to lose weight. Keto is so much more than that. I finally can tell now that I have a great relationship with food and I'm feeling awesome in my own body. First time in my life, I'm proud of who I am.
Wow.
My goal weight in August was 56 kilos, but now I feel great in my 59 kilos, and I don't care if I don't lose that last few kilos.
Great.
Yep.
Great.
Yes.
Exactly.
Another win. And my pressure, totally fine after 2 months on keto. So I guess we're talking blood pressure here.
Yeah.
Keto healed my body, mind, and soul, and I never thought I would say so for any diet. Well done. Well done. Round of applause.
Absolutely.
For Zen Jen.
What a wonderful story.
Isn't that a great story?
Yeah, but it's so typical of people who go on keto. I mean, they've gone through years or sometimes decades of calorie restriction, of yo-yoing up and down, and just, you know. And it's just funny when you go keto, go ketogenic, all of a sudden you can use the energy you stored.
I particularly like the fact that she moved beyond just like food as a requirement, and she got into actual cooking.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I mean, because, you know, we've been doing these amazing recipes on this show, but a lot of other people are too, right?
Yeah.
Listen, I have a client, and because I've started coaching, and I have a client, 2 of them. It started with one guy, and his wife got into it, and now they're, 25 years of marriage, they're cooking together for the first time.
Wow.
And loving it. And now they have something that they share, a new passion. They go shopping together. They cook together every day. It's really just a wonderful thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the mail I got. What do you got?
Nice.
Richard?
So I've got a mail from a buddy of ours, Darren Graham, who was a listener of ours right from the early days.
Yeah.
And so do you remember last Keto Fest, we asked people to bring keto to their own communities?
Right. Expand your community.
Expand your communities.
Yeah.
So Darren has decided to have an event in his local town, which is in the west of Melbourne in Victoria, Australia.
Oh, great.
And he's invited Dr. Peter Bruckner along, and Peter Bruckner we've had on our show. He is the former doctor of Liverpool football team as well as the Australian cricket team.
Great.
And he also wrote the definitive textbook on sports medicine. So
wow.
He's going to be talking. Peter Bruckner, he's a world-renowned Australian sports medicine clinician, and he is going to talk about how to outsmart bad health advice and make simple changes for long-lasting energy, weight loss, and well-being.
Wow. Great.
And essentially, he managed to turn around the sporting careers of a number of Australia's best athletes by showing them low-carb diets.
Wow.
And Darren is also going to talk. He is, he's had an amazing story. He was in a spiral of health issues on 6 different medications, and he was suffering from depression, anxiety, psoriasis, arthritis, sleep apnea, high blood pressure, and not being able to walk 100 meters without rest.
Wow.
And Darren explains the benefits of and the life transformations of cutting carbohydrates and refined sugars out of his lifestyle. He's gone from being over 200 kilograms, that's over 400 pounds, to going to no medication and competing in 2 half marathons.
Wow.
And his before and after image is just remarkable. So that event is on the 12th of December, and there's plenty of time left for that. So if you're in Melbourne and you want to hear somebody talk about the success of keto, maybe you've got a family member who needs to hear this message, bring them along. So really. We will put the link in the show notes for the Eventbrite page.
Wow, that's fantastic. Mm-hmm. Very good. All right. Well, that's enough of our intro babble. Now I think we should really bring Brenda and Kevin on officially. Hi, Brenda, Zorn. Hi, Kevin Mountain. How are you guys?
Hi, Carl. I'm doing really good.
Doing great.
Kevin, I just got to say you look fantastic. I'm looking at you in video right now, and you look like you've lost maybe 20 or 30 pounds since Keto Fest.
Yeah, I think so. Something like that. Give or take.
Looking fabulous. And you too, Brenda, you look wonderful. Your skin looks great. You know, you're slim, your face is like taut, and you guys just look fantastic. And I hope you feel as well as you look. Yeah,
I'm healthy as ever. I mean, I'm not some kind of like super lean bodybuilder athlete or anything, but you can look at my lab reports anytime. My doctor says they look like a 25-year-old and I'm 55. And by the way, I'm still lifting more weight. Just to let you know, I haven't reached my limit yet.
That's so cool.
Just this week, I broke about 3 different of my own personal records at the gym. So
nice.
Oh yeah.
Well, I'd like you to catch our listeners up on what's been going on in your life. I know that the theme is giving thanks, and we all have so much to be thankful for. Richard and I certainly do. That goes without saying. But you guys have been through the ringer in the last few months. Tell us the story.
Putting it lightly. Kevin, you want to tell them what you've been going through in the last few months?
Yeah.
When did it start?
A couple months, I guess, gone through. I had a couple of phone calls that they had a kidney for me.
Right.
But unfortunately, they didn't quite work out. But I'm on the top of the list now for my blood type.
Well, that is the condensed version of the story, but the dramatic version, I think, is that we got this Facebook message. There's a kidney. We're going to the hospital. Wish us luck. And everybody's like, yeah, go.
Yeah, he has so many people supporting him, and we're so grateful for that. And it really is, at the moment, that exciting for us. And I've been with him every step of the way, so you'll hear me say we a lot, even though I'm not the one getting the surgery. It sure feels like it sometimes because I'm right next to him. So yeah, he's done quite a bit in this past year. How much have you lost altogether, Kevin?
67 pounds now.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So last time we spoke to Kevin and Brenda was Thanksgiving show of last year. And for those people who didn't watch that show, Kevin was diabetic and had end-stage kidney disease and had it for about 4 years and had been having dialysis for 4 years. This was a year ago when we did the Thanksgiving show. Mm. And what happened was somebody was listening to that show, and of course, Kevin had reversed his diabetes almost within the first 3 months. And, this is what the ketogenic diet does. But of course, you can't reverse the kidney disease, the kidney damage that's been done by diabetes.
Right. It's kind of like driving a car with no oil, as Dr. Fung says.
Yes, exactly.
After the engine is seized, there's no amount of oil that's going to bring it back.
Yeah. But somebody listening to the show actually contacted Brenda, I believe.
Yes.
And offered a live organ, which is an incredible gift. Unbelievable. And I know that didn't end up working out, and it took a while to... I mean, there's lots of tests that they have to go through.
Right.
And at the last minute, it was cruel, but at the last minute, there was a final test where the patient's doctor said, we probably we can't harvest the organ from you.
Kevin, what went through your mind when you got that news?
Shocked. I was shocked at first, yeah.
Were you, did you have inclinations to like just give up and?
No, I didn't want to give up. I just wanted to keep going,
Maybe for 10 seconds, right, Kevin?
Yeah, well, maybe,
and then we jumped right back on again. Yeah, it was hard.
I imagine you must have been quite frustrated.
Oh, yeah.
Right. So then fast forward a few months and we get this text, as I said, on, message on Facebook. Hey, there's a kidney. There's 3 people in line. Kevin's third in line.
Yep.
And, we're going to the hospital. Wish us luck, which is a little, bittersweet because, somebody's losing their life to donate a kidney, but what an amazing gift if somebody donates their organs after their body is gone, and their life can live on in somebody else. So what happened with the other two recipients ahead of you, Kevin?
Well, evidently they were in a little bit better shape than I was to receive these kidneys. A better match.
Well, they were ahead of him in line. He was the alternate, actually.
Alternate, yeah.
We've had a lot happen
right.
in the last month, so
yeah.
It gets all mixed together. And you can imagine the adrenaline when we get a phone call. Matter of fact, I was going to mention that we have to leave the ringer on even while we're recording this podcast because we can't miss a call. It can come at any time.
Okay.
We can get a call at any time. So if you hear the phone ring.
Wouldn't that make a great show?
I know, right?
No, Carl. Bad Carl.
Excuse me. Hang on one second, guys. I got to take a call. You got a what?
Yeah.
That's how it happens, too. And the second time I wasn't with him, and that was just last week. I can tell you what we go through when we get that call. And they wanted him there right then because it was a car accident victim. And he was, all prepped and ready to receive it. And they told us it might not happen depending on the condition of the kidney. Because it was a car accident, and they weren't in any condition to transplant, unfortunately. So, talk about a roller coaster up and down, right, Kevin?
Oh, yeah.
Now, since all this started, Kevin, you've been an advocate for organ donation and have started a website and a campaign to sort of make people aware, hey, this is a way that you can immortalize yourself by letting your kidneys, your organs live on after you go. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, a friend of mine, you know him, John Somsky, he was kind enough to start a website, and it's called www.akidneyforkevin.com.
Wow.
And he set that all up.
And so what do you see when you go there?
Well, it just basically tells my story.
Mm-hmm.
And there's also links to where people can go if they want to possibly become a living donor.
Right, that's right.
Which, by the way, we wanted to talk about that a little bit.
Yeah.
We've been putting a lot out on social media, and we also have vinyl letters on the back of our cars, by the way. It says, so we get a little attention for that in town. It says a kidney donor needed blood type A or O, and then akidneyforkevin.com.
Yep.
But we've had some people step forward. You want to tell them about that, Kevin? We've had some people, as a living donor. This means somebody that is willing to give one of their kidneys to help Kevin have applied. And if you go to that website, it directs you where to apply if you want to be screened and see if you're a possible match. Kevin, tell them the different, how many people have we had that step forward?
Oh my gosh. Maybe, I don't know, 3 or 4?
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah.
And it's a very complicated process. It's very technical. There's no way that they would do surgery if they didn't think the person who wants to donate would be ready. So far it hasn't worked out, but there are still people that have gotten a hold of us and told us they're applying. And I wanted to mention, when somebody is wanting to be a living donor, Kevin's transplant team would pay for any of the preliminary testing, the surgery, and the post-op. They pay for everything. So that's something it's important for people to know. It's that way everywhere, at least in the U.S. here, that if somebody wanted to be a living donor, that's covered. You don't have to pay any of your own money for that.
Yep.
What are some of the things that people are afraid of when they go to get their driver's license and they consider checking off, are you an organ donor or not? What are some of the things that you think people are most afraid of? Why would, maybe I don't want them ripping my heart out when there's a possibility that I could still live, or I've heard of people coming back from the dead on the operating table or in the casket. I mean, are those things founded, or is that just crazy?
That's what I used to think. When I was younger, I used to think, well, what if I felt it? Well, what if I was still alive? But nowadays they're so careful with everything that they do. They do brain scans, and to see if the person is in fact deceased. And if they were lucky enough to keep the body alive, then there's a lot of organs that can be transplanted. It's really an amazing thing. We are absolutely humbled that people have done that. You can't imagine the amount of emotions that we go through when we get a call that there's a donor from a cadaver. But just what we go through, and just completely humbled by the fact that there are people stepping forward wanting to donate their own kidney. I can't tell you. There's no words. So
So it's important to let people know that there's two ways to donate organs. Kidneys, we're actually born with two, and most people probably will not need two. They can probably do okay with one. And so that's live organ donation. That only happens with kidneys. I think it's possible with skin, but it's mainly only kidneys that live donation happens. And if you are donating in somebody's name and you're not a tissue match, there's a mechanism whereby there's like a chain, isn't there, Brenda?
Yes, there is. That's very important to mention. If you really want to get involved in something like this and you're not a match for the recipient you'd like to donate your kidney to, they'll put you in a group and match you with somebody that does, and then someone in your same situation will donate to Kevin. So the biggest one was at the U of M here in Minnesota, and there was 25 people that received a kidney because one person stepped forward and said, "Hey, I want to donate."
Wow.
So it's amazing how that works.
That is awesome. I have a friend who donated a kidney to her friend, her best friend. And she said, "What will change in my life?" And the doctor said, "Well, you won't be able to drink alcohol anymore." Now, I don't know if that was a general across the board thing or because she was a petite woman, but she didn't drink anyway. So that was no real big deal. And that was really the only thing they told her lifestyle wise would change. Mm-hmm. Is there anything else that you know of general rules, any of you guys, about donating kidneys? What changes?
Yes, there is something that I know, actually. Interestingly enough, when I first met Kevin, I didn't want him to die.
Yeah.
And so I walked through my fear and contacted the Living Donor Program and signed up myself. And it turns out I'm actually a tissue match, which is interesting, but they won't let me donate because of my past history of type 2 diabetes.
Oh, no.
They're very careful. So, yeah. So, I mean, there's a lot of screening and there's a lot involved. They want to protect the person who wants to donate, and they're very, very careful before they would allow you to even donate.
So that's one method, and the other method is a deceased donation. And this is when you tell people you leave a living will to say, when my brain is no longer functioning, I want to donate my organs. And I think we mentioned it briefly after my brother died this year that he donated his organs, some scientists got his pancreas, which is going to be interesting. I want to find out the results of that test because obviously we're related, and obviously I have type 2 diabetes, so I'm interested in how his beta cells function. But the other thing is that a number of his organs were donated, and it's obviously sad. If you lose a loved one, there's nothing you can do about that. That has happened, but this is a choice that you can actually have. You've got no choice about losing your loved one. That has happened, but you can choose whether or not to donate their organs, and that can, in our case, it saved the lives of 4 people. So that's
it
just
a gives me chills,
thing.
Richard. It totally gives me chills. I'm just so happy your family was able to do that. That's amazing.
Yeah,
it's a wonderful gift.
Yeah. But I mean, it is a relief. It's an empowerment because it's something you can do when there's nothing else you can do. So, I don't want to say I highly recommend it, but I think most of us will be in that kind of situation and find out for ourselves that whether that's, that's a relief in that process.
Well, shall we go around the table here and everybody say what they're thankful for this year?
Sure.
Brenda, you want to start?
Ladies first.
Sure, I would be glad to say what I'm thankful for. I'm thankful that, like I said, that it takes over an enormous part of my life is Kevin. I love him very dearly, and I'm just glad that he's here every day. And the fact that all of this has happened, where he has he was coached by Megan Ramos through IDM and learned how to fast and do keto, and of course I'm here with him and I help him with that. That he was able to change his health, turn it around, and to qualify for the transplant list. I'm very thankful for that. I'm thankful that he's doing well every day, and that he's, he didn't have the energy to work when I met him a little over a year ago, and now he works all his spare time. It's just amazing what has happened for him. He's just a much happier person. So I'm thankful for Kevin's health. It's just really amazing. But for myself, otherwise, I work for IDM. That's Intensive Dietary Management. That's Dr. Jason Fung and Megan Ramos' program. And I started working for them. They called me. They actually called me and asked me if I would like to come and work for them about a year ago. And I kind of stumbled over my words trying to say yes fast enough. But I didn't even care what they wanted me to do. I just, But they started me out managing their group fast website. And should we wonder why? I've only been managing group fasts for 2 Keto Dudes, my own Facebook group at first, and then the 2 Keto Dudes, and then the ketogenic forums. I mean, I've been doing it for like 3 years. So
Zorn fasts.
Somebody named it that at one point, and it kind of stuck. So they asked me if I would manage their membership community fast every month in their website. And in the meantime, they trained me to be an educator, and now I have clients, and I'm one of the educators for IDM right now. So I'm very, very grateful for that job. I enjoy it. It energizes me. I spend more than just the time that I am working my groups or doing my consults online. I spend every spare moment learning more about fasting, about keto, about everything. So they're getting more than just, my hours that I have clients scheduled. I pretty much do this all the time. So they're getting their money's worth from me. I'll tell you that right now.
It's always been a full-time job. Now you're just getting paid for it.
Yep, that's right. I'm getting paid for my time, and I love it. It just never gets old. I love what I'm doing. I used to help people before for several years. I mean, the first 3 years of keto, I was helping people. So this is just a more formal environment where I can help people through IDM.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm very grateful for the job. I love working for them. I'm very proud of that.
Richard, you want to go next?
Sure. I'm grateful to have been in the room when Brenda first met Jason Fung.
Oh, my gosh.
And if I remember rightly, I was pushing her in the back saying, Brenda, go talk to him, go talk to him. And she was like, oh, no, I can't. Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
This is true. And I'm not that way with anybody. I really am not. It was just, his book was just so great, and I brought it with because I wanted him to sign it. And I'll tell you what, Jason, that's the only time in my life I've ever asked for an autograph, just to let you know. So.
Yeah.
Jason Fung, long-time listener.
Yes.
So no, I'm really grateful for we have a special. Carl and I have a special person who has essentially funded us for the past year and kept us going and basically helped us to go professional. We were both doing this as a hobby and paying all the bills ourselves, all the bandwidth ourselves. And he basically convinced us to set up a Patreon account, and he advised us and gave us some money to be able to fly to conferences so that we could interview people directly. And most of the really great interviews that we've had over the past year have been because of his involvement. So I'd like to give thanks for his effort over the past year to help us out. He likes to remain behind the scenes, so I won't embarrass him by mentioning his name, but I'd like to give thanks for him.
Yeah, absolutely. And I will second that, Richard. I'm very grateful for this person, and again, likes to remain behind the scenes. But without him, we would not have the Obesity Code podcast, Keto Woman podcast, the Keto Families and Keto Kids, the Ketogenic Forums, all of those great things. A social media person, a graphics person, audio editors. Like, there's so much stuff that we do that's because of this support.
Yeah.
I am also just grateful that and thankful that that we met, Richard, and that Mark Miller got cancer.
Yeah. I should say I'm also grateful for all of our Patreons because we have a whole bunch of people who pay us as little as $5 a month just because they're happy that we produce podcasts and put them out. And of course, you know, these aren't cheap to produce, and not cheap for the bandwidth. But that Patreon account helps us to keep the Two Keto Dudes podcast on the air. So I should mention thanks to our Patreons as well.
Kevin Mountain, your turn. What are you thankful for this year?
I am thankful for being in good health. Because without this good health, I would not be where I'm at with the kidney transplant. I'm, on the list and all that. But I'm thankful for Megan Ramos for helping me for the 6 months and helping me get in better shape. And I'd like to thank Brenda for being in my life and helping me along. Yep.
She's amazing.
Oh, yeah.
So, Carl, what are you thankful for?
Oh, where do I start? I'm thankful to you, Richard. I consider you my ketogenic guru.
Yeah,
when I was diabetic, absolutely. When I was diabetic and there was no podcasts and there was no, there were a few videos on YouTube. You knew where they all were. You sent them to me. I read, I watched, I listened, and I got it. And once I got it, I was all in 100%. And without your just gentle encouragement and, no, read the science. No, it's all there. I probably wouldn't have reverse diabetes. So, yeah, thanks for saving my life, buddy.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
And I just can't believe where this thing has gone. And I also, it's great that somebody told me that what they like about the Two Keto Dudes podcast is we sort of take the fear and trepidation out of embracing it 100%, eating the fat, cutting the carbs, and you're not going to die and you're not going to have a heart attack. You're not going to have a stroke. Well, I can't guarantee that, but, not because you're eating butter, that's for sure. And it's just the fact that, we tell people to eat fat and cut sugar and, they give us credit for saving their lives seems silly, but I just can't believe how this whole movement has grown, and we sort of surfed the wave all the way up, and it's just getting started,
That's what I say about IDM. I mean, they're just gearing up. I'm definitely on the crest of a wave with them. It's unbelievable. And just look at how many people we touch. I mean, we can touch one person, but that person can tell their friends and their family, and then all those people are helped. It's just amazing. It's like exponential growth. Absolutely. It's just,
and it's not necessarily talking. It's actually being the change.
Right.
And people, you do it, and then people go, "What are you doing?"
They do.
You look great.
That's sometimes.
Yeah, I had a stick of butter for breakfast. And they go, "What?"
Sometimes the only time they pay attention is when they're seeing just how the big change and how healthy you are, and that's when they finally pay attention to what you're doing. Yeah,
right.
You can't talk to them. As much as I carry cards around in my wallet of the ketogenic forums and Two Keto Dudes podcast and IDM, I can't just hand that to somebody and expect that they're gonna latch onto it. But if they're interested, I'll hand it to them.
Sure. I'm also just thankful for all the people who continue to listen and patronize us, if that's a word, and come to the ketogenic forums, 30,000 people in the forum, and all the people that come to Keto Fest and the Mini Fest and want to do their own Keto Fests, and it's just a little bit overwhelming. So I'm just grateful for every single listener out there and everyone who has taken our attitude to heart and change their lives for the better and those around them.
Hear, hear.
Hear, hear.
Yeah, they want to do a mini Keto Fest here in Minnesota. They're talking about it, our Minnesota Ketonians meetup group. So, it just keeps getting bigger.
So, Kevin, tell me, are there more people in your tribe who are diabetic? Is that a common thing?
Yeah, it's very common. Yep.
Because you're a Ojibwa man, right?
That's right. That's correct.
Yeah. So, it's fairly common in your tribe, in your family as well. Your daughter is diabetic at 28, wasn't she?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah. Yep.
Oh. And is this diet something that could help them, do you think?
Oh, I think so. Yeah. Oh yeah. In fact, I have a nephew who was really bad with type 2 diabetes also, and now he's slowly going into the ketogenic diet, and it's helped him.
Nice.
So far, so good. So
yeah,
they're watching him. They are watching him.
Yep. Yeah. They are. They are watching me. Yep.
Excellent.
That must feel great, when people come up to you and say, what are you doing?
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a common thing with First Nations people all over the world that they're more susceptible to diabetes than Westerners, and it's a real curse amongst Australian Aboriginals. It's a real curse amongst the Pacific Islanders. It's a real curse amongst the North American Indigenous people. It's just striking us all down, but it's striking them down quicker.
Yep.
And ethnic groups everywhere, the Black and Hispanic communities especially suffering hard here in America, in the Caribbean and South America. I can't think of a single country in the world, maybe a couple where there's just, where it doesn't touch, but all the countries where, that have low instances of diabetes also just don't eat out of boxes and cans. They eat real food.
I'm getting a lot of clients at IDM from India, and India is just... There's a tsunami of diabetes coming out of India right now, and mostly TOFIs, people that are thin looking on the outside, but the visceral fat is making them sick.
It's very hard for them because they feel like they're on top of the world. They think because they're not heavy that they're not in danger. Yeah, it's hard. Well, I just wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving week. And I hope it was good for you guys. And
this is actually Thanksgiving Day that we're recording, isn't it, Carl? I know that the podcast will come out.
Happy Thanksgiving, guys!
Yeah, happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
The podcast will come out after Thanksgiving, but it's
and we want to see those leaders out there, the natural-born leaders in their communities, emerge and rise up and lead your people out of this scourge that is surely going to kill us all if we're not careful. We're making diabetics faster than keto is rising in popularity, and we have to act. So lead on, people. Step up. All right. Thanks, Brenda. Thanks, Kevin. You guys are awesome.
You bet.
You're welcome, guys.
Yep, you're welcome.
And I hope you get that call sooner than later.
We're going to get that call, and you're one of the first people we get a hold of when we do get that call. We might not let you know until we're in the Uber on the way to the hospital, but you Megan is number one, and then it's you guys. Well, wait, his daughter, and then Megan, and then you.
Wait a minute. Then it's okay. Wait, you go. Okay, you're third, fourth, fifth.
That's the order.
You're on the
number
but
20.
We're on the list. That's the important thing.
You guys are number 20 now.
Megan, 2 keto dudes. Yeah, you guys. Yep, absolutely.
Yep.
Have we all got recipes?
I have a recipe.
Nice.
Have we all got recipes?
Come on, Kevin.
Oh, yeah. Recipes.
Awesome.
Yeah.
What you got, Brenda?
Yeah, Brenda, you go.
I've got a pork belly recipe that's so easy. We're actually, I know, listen to him.
Frozen.
Listen to Kevin in the other room. He's on his laptop. We had it last weekend, and it was the first time he had pork belly. I know. I should have fed him a long time ago. I know. But he loved it.
Of course he did.
Yeah. So as soon as we're done recording with you guys here, we're off to the store to buy a slab of pork belly.
Nice.
So I have a very simple recipe for pork belly. You preheat the oven to 350 and you take a piece of pork belly. It's usually about an inch and a half thick that I buy. They range in weight from, I heard my friend John Clary had a 6-pound one or something. But we usually buy a 1-pound pork belly and then score the top. Kind of that diamond pattern scoring. Crisscross on the top. Yep. And then we put it in the preheated oven at about 350 for about an hour.
Now, which side do you put up?
What? Oh, fat side up. Fat side up. Yeah. Yeah, sorry. Yeah. Fat side up, and it'll render some of the fat off, but it'll get hot all the way through. And I mean, pork belly really it looks like a chunk of bacon that wasn't sliced. But then also it isn't smoked, it isn't salted, it's just a piece of pork meat. Okay, so you bake that for about an hour, and, ovens are going to vary. You kind of keep an eye on it. And then you take it out and you put this teriyaki glaze on it. Well, it's not teriyaki, it's sriracha. Sriracha glaze, not teriyaki, right, Kevin? Yeah, sriracha. Okay.
Could be srirachaki. A combination.
Yeah, sriracha. So the sriracha glaze is very simple. I mean, I know there's a low carb, in the US, there's a low carb ketchup from Heinz. It probably has 1 carb per tablespoon, but literally this recipe, you only use a tablespoon. And a lot of people don't like to use artificial sweeteners, but this only uses a 1/4 teaspoon. And sriracha has 1 gram of carbohydrate per teaspoon. You only use 1 teaspoon. So come on. All that you can it's a wash, really. And I split it with Kevin. So what am I getting? 1 gram of carbohydrate out of that sauce?
Yeah.
Okay, so the sauce is just 1 tablespoon of Heinz low sugar ketchup, 1 teaspoon of sriracha, and a 1/4 teaspoon of, I like to use powdered swerve because it mixes in so well. And then you mix that up and you spoon it across the top and spread it out real thin, put it back in the oven for about a half hour. Watch it though. I burned it once. You can burn that glaze. Yeah. But luckily I could peel it off and glaze it again. But, yeah, you cook it in the oven until it gets kind of caramelized on top, and it's so good. It's so fantastic. The glaze does everything for it. Kevin wanted more after he ate a half pound of it, so... Yeah.
It's good, is it, Kevin?
Oh, I love it. When I ate this pork belly, I didn't feel full right away, but 5 minutes later, all of a sudden it hit me. I could not think of it even,
I had the same experience. Remember when I did my pork belly every day experiment? I lasted like 3 days. I'm like, oh my God, I can't eat anymore.
That's satiety. That's satiety. And it's one of the things that we teach people at IDM because clients come to us and don't understand what that feeling is. A lot of us don't when we first start this because all our signals are messed up. But that was the feeling of satiety. He's over there going, oh my God, I can't even look at it. And I'm like, that's satiety. That's satiety.
Yep.
So in Nanette Bosworth's book, and she was our guest last week, she says, I'm giving you permission right now. What I want you to do as an experiment is for breakfast tomorrow, eat an entire stick of butter. You heard me. That's right. You're going to eat a stick of butter for breakfast. Now, granted, I guarantee you won't get through the whole stick because you're going to get to this point maybe halfway through, maybe a quarter through where you're going to be like, oh my God, I can't eat anymore.
That's satiety.
You're going to be full and you're going to feel that satiety for the first time. That's a really great experiment.
It's an actual signal that the body will give you telling you, I've had enough fat right now. I've had enough. And it's a very important signal to listen to because when we're ketogenic, we're eating fat as our main fuel. And when we're first learning, it's hard to know where that point is. And that's an important point to get used to learning about your body.
Cool. Well, Richard, you got a recipe?
Yeah, I'm going to do a simple one. It's, as you know, it's still Carnivember, so I'm still on the meat and salt and water only diet, although of course I eat eggs and dairy as well.
Right.
But so this one is beef short ribs, and these are really easy to do. I've done a beef short rib recipe before, which is involved. It had onions and no, we're not going to need any of that today.
No.
All we're going to need is beef, salt, and water.
Great.
You get the beef ribs and you basically chop them up into 1 inch long batons. We're going to put them in a fry pan. We're going to crank up the heat on the fry pan, and we're going to basically caramelize the outside. Turn the outside of these beef ribs and make them go brown with the fry pan.
Nice.
And it's going to be a dry fry pan. So you're going to basically be moving the fry pan around to get these beef riblets all caramelized, and then you throw them in an Instant Pot. And to the Instant Pot, you add about maybe a cup of water if you have like a kilo of beef. This water is going to make the gravy. And you need to salt it well. So I would probably salt it before putting it in the fry pan, but you can salt it straight into the Instant Pot. You put the Instant Pot on for 1 hour. 1 hour at pressure, and at the end of that you have a delicious beef rib. It's like a stew with big chunks of beef ribs.
Oh, yeah.
Richard is smiling from ear to ear right now.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
No.
It makes him giddy.
Simplest recipe. It's amazing how good meat, salt, and water taste if prepared properly.
That's pretty much how I make my short ribs, Richard. And the just the flavor of the beef is all you need. It's just fantastic.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that's my recipe. What you got, Carl?
All right. So mine's really easy. I think I've talked about this before, but I'll write up a blog post and take some pictures. I'm going to tell you how to make a rotisserie chicken from the supermarket last for a week.
Okay.
Rotisserie chicken from the supermarket generally costs $5 or $6, right? Mm-hmm. It's a couple of pounds, and it's got 3 components: meat, skin, and bones. And I count cartilage as bones. Okay. So you're going to basically, you can get it cold or hot. You know, if you get it hot, you might want to let it cool off a little bit. Mm-hmm. The meat you're going to use for chicken salad. Now, you don't need a knife. You don't need a fork. You're just going to simply pull all the meat off of that chicken, take the skin and put that aside, take the bones, put that aside, and then peel the meat with your fingers, mush it up.
Yep.
You don't even need a fork. You don't even need a knife. Just grind it a little bit between your fingers and your thumb, and you're just sort of mashing it.
Yeah.
Now you're going to take all of that bone and skin, put it in a pot with water. And how much water? All right. So you got the bones and skin of a chicken. I'm going to put in about 8 cups, 10 cups, maybe even 12 cups of water. It doesn't really matter because guess what? You're going to cook it down. But before you cook it down, you're going to add celery. You're going to add maybe a little onion. If you don't want to use onion for the sugar, you can use a little onion powder. You're going to put crushed garlic in there. You're going to put some rosemary, some parsley.
A bay leaf, some sage. Sage is a really important ingredient with chicken. And don't salt it just yet, because here's the thing. You have an option at this point. You can either make stock. Well, you're going to make stock, but you can either eat that stock for soup, use it as a base for a million other soups, like cream of mushroom soup or a vegetable soup, or use the stock in all sorts of ways. Richard's talked about putting it in ice cube trays. Or you can make the best gravy you've ever had. Now, let me tell you about the gravy. So you start with a pot full of water. You're going to cook that on low and just simmer it for about 5 or 6 hours. And that's going to leach all of the good stuff out of the bones. And then you strain it. And now you're going to reduce it. You're going to put it up on high and let it boil down by 75% until you get just this really rich, thick, meaty stock. Now you're going to add a stick of butter. A stick of butter. Yes, I said a stick of butter. Did I mention it's a stick of butter? Okay. And about a half a cup of red wine. That's optional, you know. If you don't like red wine, that's fine. But it does bring out this wonderful umami flavor. Yeah, it does.
Yep. And now you're going to, as soon as that is melted and you whisk it all up, it gets a little bit thicker. But if you want to go for more thick, you can do one of two things. You can use the trisodium citrate powder that Richard and I use. Yeah. And that's going to help emulsify and thicken that. And you don't need very much, like a half a teaspoon. Or you can sprinkle some xanthan gum in there. You can use glucomannan powder. There's a bunch of ways that you can thicken gravy. You bring that back up to a boil just to make sure all of that stuff gets incorporated. And then you turn and take it down in heat and simmer it on low. Now you add your salt and pepper to taste. I like white pepper lately. It really gives packs a really good flavor. And you can spoon that over your chicken. Now your chicken, you want to turn that into chicken salad. It's just mayo and celery. Yeah. And celery salt and black pepper. And that's it.
Yeah.
So now you can either drink the stock, you can put the gravy on the chicken, you can have chicken salad, you could do all of the above, and that is going to last you for the entire week.
Nice.
And that's all I got, man. Kevin, you got a recipe?
Well, I do, and it's I love it. It's chili. My chili recipe. Yeah.
Everybody loves his chili.
Oh yeah. And what's the beans? Black soybeans, right?
Black soybeans, and
very low carb.
Yep.
He's got the recipe on the ketogenic forums.
Yep.
So he doesn't have it right in front of him at the moment.
No, I don't. But
okay. I would imagine hamburger, beans, some tomatoes.
Beans, yep. Chopped tomatoes, onion.
Onion, peppers, celery, maybe.
There's some seasoning like oregano.
Now There's cumin and chili powder.
Yeah.
Cumin, chili powder, yeah.
That's about
garlic
it.
powder, maybe?
Yep. That's about it. That's about it.
So it's very meaty, and
good.
the black soybeans, they're very good.
And
very
add a
low
stick
carb.
of butter, right?
Oh, yeah, sure.
I actually listen to him. He sounds like a Minnesotan. Oh, yeah, sure.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, I got to put that butter in there then.
Oh, yeah, don't you know? Don't you know?
Yeah, then, hey.
Yeah.
Well, we'll put a link to Kevin's recipe on, from the Ketogenic forums on the show notes.
It's very, very good. And low
Absolutely.
carb. Yeah.
Thank you guys for hanging out with us tonight, and that makes a good show.
Thank you.
Good. Yeah, thank you.
Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah. Happy Thanksgiving. Of course, if you have anything you want to tell us, something we said wrong, something you don't agree with, some more research you found to support or refute, anything we've said, send it by email to dudes@twoketodudes.com or post it on our website.
And you can follow us on Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram at 2KetoDudes, and make sure to use the hashtag 2KetoDudes.
And of course, if you want to join the free Ketogenic Forum, it's forum.2keto.com. And you can have a look around the Ketogenic Forum without needing to create an account by starting with success.2keto.com.
And if useless swag is your fancy, like t-shirts and coffee mugs and other junk with witty keto sayings on them, head over to gear.2keto.com.
And if you want a shot at getting some of that swag for free, join the 2Keto Dudes fan club. You'll be eligible to win something at every show. Go to fanclub.2keto.com.
And if you feel like supporting our forums and all the podcasts we produce and all of our other efforts, think about making a monthly pledge on our Patreon page at patreon.2keto.com.
You can also see all of our podcasts and other videos on YouTube at youtube.2keto.com.
And if you haven't already, go leave us a review on Apple Podcasts. That's how new people get to know about what we do. 2 Keto Dudes is brought to you by 2 Keto LLC, who strives to support the low-carb community with podcasts and other publications. My friends, keep calm, keto on, and fast when you can.
Yeah, keep calm, keto on, and fast whenever you can, Carl.
I'm going to fast 5 days next week. I'm fasting 5 days next week.
Awesome.
I'm looking forward to it.
Keep calm and keto on, Kevin.
Oh, yes, thank you. You too.
All right. And we will see you next time on 2 Keto Dudes.